cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Scout, joined by my co-host, gifted with the power of prophecy, Jill. And today we will be discussing Power of Three, Book 6, Sunrise, and the novella Hollyleaf's Story. Hello, Jill, my friend blessed by Apollo.
I am not blessed by Apollo, but thank you.
We have some stuff later in the episode about the fic that you tease.
I am gonna expose my deep dark secrets.
Yeah.
My deep dark secrets, aka my cringe-ass childhood.
So listen, cringe is dead, and that includes sharing your cringe from when you were a child.
Yeah, that's so true.
Whatever you reveal
I am
today,
cringe, but I am free,
exactly.
etc., etc.
To balance the scales, I will also reveal to our podcast audience about the one time when I was 14 that I did a handwritten Roy Mustang Reads a Hawkeye fic on like a piece of notebook paper, and I folded it up and I put it in my pocket, and I like carried it around for a week just so that like I could have them with me. I
love that. Oh my god.
Just so that I knew they were there.
That's so perfect.
But we're not here to talk about Royai, even though I'm 1 second away from talking about them.
I'm always down to talk about them is the thing.
They're always living in my head. But what we could talk about is a little bit of how's the prey running? How are you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. Been a long week. Kind of been vibing.
Mm-hmm.
Went to my craft group.
Ooh, fun.
We made little linen jute rope pumpkins. They were adorable.
Oh, a pumpkin.
And mine is displayed on the dashboard of my car because I thought it would be cute.
That is cute.
And then I went and got my Halloween costume yesterday. Woo-hoo! Since we're going to be on a boat.
Oh, hell yeah.
For Halloween
boat.
I was like, I should get like a Disney themed costume, but I want it to be something like easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up finding some perfect stuff to go as Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus.
Oh, hell yeah. That's so fun.
So I have some ears and a tail and a collar and everything, and then one of those like ye olden shirts so that I can kind of like be like half cat, half person.
Hell yeah.
Dealio. I'm very excited. I think it's gonna look really good. But that was why I was so busy yesterday, because hey, fucking everybody was out getting their Halloween costumes.
Yeah, it's that time. It's that time when everybody says.
We got like a 11 days until Halloween, so everybody's out there getting their last minute stuff. It's a miracle I was able to find anything, honestly. But
it is. I can't believe how fast October is disappearing before my eyes. It's going so fast. We were talking actually in the podcast production chat this morning about how we're like, October is going by so fast, and it's also basically been spent recovering from September for like the entire production team for this podcast.
Yeah, we've all just been going through it. September was a bad month, I think, for all.
September was a cursed month this year.
Yeah.
Like some plenty of pleasant things still happened in the month of September, but overall, I think it was generally cursed for this podcast production team, at least.
Yes.
Should we do cover talk?
We should.
I have quite a bit of art today. We don't necessarily have to go beat by beat on like all of these woodcuts or the woodcut style. I think they're just ink pieces from the Russian books, but there were so many of them for this book, and I just thought that they were so fun. There was a ton of them. The one with Soul and with Purdy looking like the tiniest, saddest little guy holding a rabbit is really good. I wish that I had a better like scan of this one with Hollyleaf like silhouetted by a moon and screaming at Leaf Pool. It's also really good. There's two great ones from the city sequence from when they're in the Twolegplace of like all the cats crawling along the roofs and then all the cats being chased by the inexplicable pack of dogs that's in this book.
Yeah, it's just some wild shit, huh?
Really good picture of Honey, Fern, and the snake Good stuff there. I just really like sometimes we've talked about sometimes these illustrations don't hit as well, but these Russian illustrations are always really fun, and I just wish that more books had like a ton of illustrations the way that these particular versions of the book seem to have.
Especially because like they're just it's so fun, and it's such a nice like unique style.
Yeah. I love an illustrated novel. I think about illustrated novels all the time. We also have the original Wayne McLaughlin cover, which I think is really nice. We talked last book about how we weren't crazy about the Long Shadows one. This one I think still feels like a little bit empty in some regards, but I think that it's really going for something different. It is this very desolate looking landscape with the lake and like a very weak looking sunrise in the background, which I think is really nice. Like the sun itself looks out of focus and misty. And then of course on the full image we have the Hollyleaf portrait, which is one of my favorite.
She is so fucking soft.
She's so touchable. She's so touchable.
I just want to squish.
I want to pet her so badly. I love that portrait. And then, of course, Poland doing it again, always doing it.
Of course.
Feels a lot like this one is playing in the same space and kind of paying homage almost to the original English cover, because we've got a similar setup with like the sunset and a big a tree with no leaves on it. Very kind of winterscape. This is definitely darker. It is a little moodier, or moodier in like a cloudy kind of way. And I like this Hollyleaf portrait. Looks great. It's not. I prefer the fluffy Hollyleaf, but I do really appreciate that this particular Hollyleaf looks a lot like Crowfeather, which is something that they talk about a couple of times throughout the books. And I think it's fun that was kind of paid attention here, that she has very much kind of that slender Crowfeather face.
Oh my God, you can see Ashfur there.
Oh shit! Oh, there he is! Oh, that rules. Ashfur jump scare. His body in the stream is right there.
With the blood flowing from it. Yeah, that's sick as hell, dude.
That's fucking metal, dude.
I love that shit.
Hell yeah.
I was like, there's gotta be some hidden detail in there. The Polish covers always have like some little thing that's like, oh my God.
There he is. Wow. I love that is a blink and you miss it edition. That's so good.
Yeah, that's really cool. There actually is, I don't think you put it on here, but there is a Polish cover for Hollyleaf Story.
Oh, I forgot about that shit. Yeah, there is a really good cover for Hollyleaf Story.
It's just like a nice... It is a much fluffier Hollyleaf, and she almost looks like more gray. But it shows her like walking into the sunlight out of the tunnels.
Yeah.
And then the back cover is fucking fallen leaves sitting there.
Looking just like so sad.
So fucking sad.
Oh, my boy.
And he's got like the sun shining on him, but he's just got like the saddest fucking ears and his little face.
And he's a little bit transparent.
Yes. And he's just so small in the cave. Whereas Hollyleaf is so big on the front. And it's so fucking depressing.
And like so like resplendent, right? With this light haloing around her, and it's like she's looking back at him and he is just this tiny memory of a cat that sits and wishes that he could follow. I fucking Fallen Leaves.
Yeah.
I have many feelings about him.
I do too.
I care about that boy.
I care about him so much. I'm never going to beat the Hollyleafkin allegation. We should get into it because I really want to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Let me read. Buckle in, guys. This is a bit of a long summary. There was a lot to cover, and this is even me editing heavily the events of these books down to like the barest stuff that I could fit in here. But it turns out a lot of shit goes on. But here we go. In Sunrise, the prologue opens on Leafpool. As she prepares Ashfur's body for burial, she uncovers fur between his claws and realizes two truths. First, she knows who killed him. Second, she will do everything she can to keep that knowledge to herself. Meanwhile, Firestar launches an investigation into the murder, trying to calm the wild speculations flying around ThunderClan camp. Questioning WindClan scrapes up only one clue, that Soul was spotted near the border stream a few days prior. Between that and Jay Feather's knowledge of Soul having connections to the Badger Midnight, the clan leader organizes a patrol to travel to the Sundrown Place and see if they can track down the shady loner for interrogation. They arrive to find Midnight's den empty and pivot to exploring the nearby Twolegplace for leads. There, they connect with a community of strays who were previously wronged by Soul, and with their help, locate him, living with Purdy of all cats. Soul agrees to return to ThunderClan for questioning, and the lonely Purdy is convinced to tag along too, joining the clan as an elder. When Soul has no answers about Ashfur's death, he is put under house arrest in ThunderClan's camp, something the other clan leaders are none too pleased about. They serve Firestar with an ultimatum that, if Soul is not banished from the lake by the next gathering, they will come and take him by force. During all of this, Jay Feather has been trying to solve his own mystery. If Squirrelflight and Brambleclaw aren't his parents, then who are? Attempts to question Rock are fruitless, and StarClan is no better. In the end, it is his own memories of early kidhood and his medicinal knowledge that brings his eureka moment. And he reveals the discovery to his siblings. Leafpool is their mother. While Lionblaze is excited to realize this means they could still be the prophesied three, Hollyleaf takes it much worse. The fact that their very birth broke the warrior code goes against everything she knows about the order of the world. She confronts Leafpool about this revelation, but the medicine cat believes her to be here about a different secret. That Hollyleaf is, in fact, Ashfur's killer. Leafpool promises Hollyleaf she will take this knowledge to her grave, but the young warrior still leaves the confrontation feeling hollow. Soul convinces Lionblaze to help him escape captivity, claiming he will, in return, reveal to the trio their biological father's identity. Of course, this is not but a ploy to regain his freedom, and he slinks away to scheme another day. In the end, they didn't need Soul anyway. Yellowfang visits Jay Feather in his dreams, bringing with her a crow's feather and telling him the time for secrets is over. Realizing immediately what the sign means, he breaks the news of their true parentage to his siblings, and they confront their sire on the WindClan-ThunderClan border. Confused and suspicious, Crowfeather refuses to acknowledge any truth in the news they bring him, claiming he has only one mate, Nightcloud, and one child, Breezepelt. He is loyal to WindClan, full stop. The secrets, the lies, the denial, Hollyleaf is tired of it all. She decides if everything is out in the open, maybe things will be right again. At the next gathering, she stands in front of all the clans and tells them the truth of her and her brother's birth, of Leafpool and Crowfeather's defiance of the warrior code and Squirrelflight's deception of her mate and clan. But instead of catharsis, she feels only dread. She runs. Her brothers follow her as she makes for the tunnels, trying desperately to get away from everything that's gone wrong. Even after she confesses to them that she killed Ashfur, her brothers try and talk her down and bring her home, but she bolts and, right as she disappears beneath the ground, the entrance is swallowed by a tunnel collapse. Their sister is gone. The three are no more. Several days later, after a vigil has been held for Hollyleaf, Jay Feather listens as Whitewing and Birchfall's newborn kits explore the camp for the first time. Hearing Firestar speak warmly of his ever-growing family, the Benison Cat realizes something. If Cloudtail is Firestar's nephew, and Whitewing is Cloudtail's daughter, then Whitewing's daughters would be kin of Firestar's kin? Perhaps the prophecy didn't die with his sister after all. In Hollyleaf's story, we pick up immediately following the cave-in and follow Hollyleaf, very much alive but now in self-imposed exile in the tunnels beneath the lakeside, as she gets medical attention, food, and companionship from a mysterious and elusive cat named Fallen Leaves, who teaches her how to navigate and live comfortably in the darkness. They spend several moons in routine peace, but after making a brief connection with a lost fox cub, Hollyleaf begins to miss the above-ground world. When she asks Fallen Leaves to come with her and explore, he retreats, saying it is too late for him, though he will not resent her if she decides to leave. Hollyleaf ventures out to live beyond clan territories for a few moons. During the winter, she finds the fox cub again, but reality settles heavily on her heart when she realizes the creature has no memory of their time together and sees her only as prey. The loneliness and cold eats at her, and she returns once more to the comfort of the tunnels. Though she and Fallen Leaves parted on shaky terms, the tunnel cat has kept her nest well stocked with feathers and is genuinely glad to see her again. Over the next few moons, they share much with each other about their families and their lives before. Though she had initially been furious with both Squirrel Flight and Leafpool for the actions surrounding her birth, through her conversations with Fallen Leaves, she begins to understand how much pain they must have gone through to make the decisions they did, and how they were doing what they felt was right in the moment. Fallen Leaves senses Hollyleaf's developing homesickness, and convinces her to at least look in on ThunderClan in secret, even if she doesn't feel she can reveal herself to them and return to her old life. Seasons pass, and Hollyleaf watches from the cliffside above ThunderClan's camp, observing life as it moves without her. She begins to perform small favors, leaving bundles of medicinal herbs for her brother to collect or food when the weather makes hunting scarce, even rescuing 2 apprentices from a hungry fox, all without revealing herself. As she inches closer to her former life, so too does the distance between her and Fallen Leaves grow again. Though he is deeply sad, he knows they have always inhabited different worlds, and when a contingency of Wind Clan, led by Soul, appears suddenly with plans to attack ThunderClan through the tunnel system, he pushes her to help the ThunderClan cats who are spying on the battle party. Feeling a newfound certainty within her, she says goodbye to her friend and steps into the light.
Woo!
We are so fucking in it, gamers.
Chat,
Are we cooked?
are we cooked?
I think we're cooking. I think these books are cooking. Overall thoughts on these two? What'd you think?
So overall thoughts, Sunrise, I was like kind of middling on.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had some really good like high points, but it kind of dragged for me a little bit.
Definitely, I feel that.
Hollyleaf's novella, banger, 10 out of 10.
It's really good.
Loved that shit. It was so good.
It's really good. It's a really, really
like,
good
that
novella.
It was a really well written one. Like there were some really good lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were just some really good metaphors and everything. It was very much, this was the first of the novellas, right?
Yeah, this was the first one that was written.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just like, it was so good.
It was really good.
Like there were so many really good lines. There was so much good exploration of Hollyleaf's character. I feel like it makes her make so much sense.
They did a really good job fleshing out and seeing like the conclusion of all of the feelings she was having at the end of Sunrise, like being able to see her work through all of that through the novella was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on just full straight up thoughts. That is how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I would agree with you. There were a lot of parts of Sunrise that dragged. I'm so glad that we have Purdy now. Basically everything, and it's fun to see Soul again, but basically like the whole first half of the book is unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's a little bit rough.
I think that it's just the whole getting Soul and Purdy thing just takes so long.
It takes literally half of the book.
And it has no reason to take that long because, like, what does Soul even fucking do once they get in there? Nothing.
He's useless. I love Soul. He has no actual role in this book.
Yeah.
Literally everything he does is not do anything.
From a storytelling standpoint, it does not make sense to me to have so much of our time dedicated to a plot point that is meaningless in the grand scheme of things.
And this is one of the places that I remember my first time reading this series that I was really like, what are we doing with Soul? This is the first time when I think even like the authors didn't know really what they wanted to do with him. They just liked him they like wanted him to be in the book again, or they were like, well, the way that we left it felt like it was kind of unresolved, so we'll put him back in here. But they ended up still not knowing what to do and still leaving it unresolved.
Yeah.
And he just kind of slinks away again. He just kind of he just goes away again. And it's like, well, there goes Soul.
There he goes.
I still can't fucking believe Lion Blaze fell for his shit again. Lion Blaze.
Yeah, I can't wait for Lion Blaze to get more deep. Like, I'm sick and tired.
I feel like I remember him being more mature as we get into Omen of the Stars, but I could be misremembering because boy, oh boy, it doesn't seem like it from here. From this angle, I'm like, how did I get to a point where I was like, Lion Blaze is all right when I was reading these books originally?
Yeah.
Because he's so annoying. He's really annoying. Let me go back to the top of my notes so I can click off my little boxes so I don't get confused. I don't want to get all confused. At the top of the book, I didn't mention it in the summary, but we did have a little flash into StarClan. Old Lady Yuri, the girls are fighting.
Oh my god. Yes, Blue Star and Yellowfang are being snippy.
They are having a lover's spat. I mean, it's not technically a lover's spat. They're angry. They have been fighting in the background of this entire arc with like Yellowfang being the one that's like, we need to just reveal secrets to ThunderClan because this shit is just getting messier and messier. And Blue Star keeps being like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And Yellowfang's like, it's never going to be fine, babe. It's not going to be fine.
Narrator voice, it was not fine.
Narrator voice, it was not fine. It, in fact, maybe was the least fine that it's been.
Yeah. It was not your finest moment, girly pop.
No. Blue Star has never been especially good at this kind of thing, though, I suppose.
That's so true.
But I liked that little... I like when we get to see conflict in StarClan. I don't feel like we get to see it enough, because in the end, they are just still, the spirits of normal-ass cats. They have some, knowledge of the future. They have some perspective over the past, but they are not omnipotent creators in the sense of like a traditional godly pantheon. It is ancestor worship. And so I like when we get to see them be very, human, for lack of a better word, even though they're cats. But we all know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, 100%. I do enjoy like when they are less of like omnipotent or all-knowing sort of cats and just like, this is how they would act when they were alive. So like,
Yeah, turns out being dead doesn't change you that much.
It's crazy.
I love the note that you pointed out here, the J Feather line.
Oh my god, it was so funny. J Feather at one point, because everybody's like freaking out about like, oh my god, who killed Ashfur? Oh my god, Ashfur's dead. And J Feather's just like, Ashfur was never this important when he was alive. And it's like, you're so right.
You're so right, King.
Nobody gave a shit about him until he fucking died.
And now everybody's like, he was such a noble warrior.
He was such a good man. He's like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
He loved his clan so much. He was always looking out for us. And Jay Feather is just cutting to the fucking core of the rotten apple with like, nobody cared about Ashfur before. Everybody's making a big deal. And a guy that was very generally important to most people in this clan has died, and everybody's going bananas about it.
Yeah.
It was good. And we both have some notes here about the Tiger Star scene.
Oh my lord. Yeah.
I, first of all, want to say minor moment of like, aha! Because I had posited earlier in the season, does Tiger Star actually know that the kits aren't Bramble Claws? And we had kind of settled at that point on, why wouldn't he know? So he's obviously just, manipulating Lion Paw here. But no, he reveals here he didn't know. He didn't know until this point. Absolutely.
He's so funny with it, too, because he's like, oh yeah, I knew the whole time. Totally.
Totally.
Yep.
Totally knew the whole time.
He's literally just like, play it cool. Pretend you knew this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not even related to Firestar. Like, clearly he doesn't know shit because he says that.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't know jack or shit. It's so funny.
Doesn't know shit or fuck.
It really is. I wrote in my note, it's an Emperor Palpatine level pivot.
Oh my god, it sure is.
Which is truly just like, Emperor Palpatine is out here always like, this was just part of my plan the whole time. And it's like, dude, it absolutely was not. But, good on you, I guess.
If you want to believe that, King, then you go for it.
You tell yourself what you need to tell yourself.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Whatever helps you fucking get out of bed in the morning, Mr. Palpatine. Mr. Sheev.
I believe your first name dropping Emperor Palpatine in the chat.
We're on first name basis.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you guys were tight like that. I don't really have much to say about the journey at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have broad strokes thoughts about the journey. It is a journey. It is a journey that we have taken multiple times. Basically, it's the same it's the same shape as other journeys that we've been on.
Well, and it's not like this is even the first time that the main characters have been in this particular Twolegplace this arc. So it's really not that thrilling to have them come back here and have to deal with it all over again.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, we've done this before.
It's a lot of retreading previously tread locations and like plot beats, I think, here.
And genuinely, I don't feel like Hollyleaf and Lionblaze needed to go.
No, I
don't feel like it changed anything having them there. And I feel like it would have been so much better if we had just had the journey to get Soul happen off screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we didn't even have to have him go so far away. Like he could have still just been in the area.
He could have been with Smokey and Floss.
Yeah, he could have been with Smokey and Floss.
Because that's far-ish, but not so far that we have to like take weeks to be there.
Yeah, and like, what did the stuff that we learned with the group of cats that used to be led by Soul, like, what did we really learn there? We learned the same thing that we know about Soul, which is that he comes into a place, he manipulates people, and then he says that the consequences of those actions are not his fault because it was just things he was saying. It wasn't actions he was doing. And I suppose that in this reading order, I can see when this originally came out, maybe having this perspective was helpful because we wouldn't have had the perspective of the stuff in SkyClan and the Stranger yet at the time. But I still think even without SkyClan and the Stranger, we had what happened with ShadowClan, which was just a different version of this same thing, basically, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just is kind of reinforcing that Soul takes advantage of cats. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That could just as easily been shown if Purdy still came back with him.
Yeah.
And they showed how Purdy had gotten kind of manipulated.
Yeah, if they had played more in that space of like that Soul was taking advantage of Purdy instead of like it. Really, their relationship in the end ended up feeling like one of Soul's healthiest. Like, I don't know how much Soul was even taking advantage of Purdy, at least in what we saw on, screen or represented on page.
Yeah.
But it easily could have been a more effective way to like showcase another instance of Soul's behavior of manipulating another cat. But yeah, a couple things I did like in that whole adventure was I did like the scene of Hazeltail visiting Smokey. I liked that Brambleclaw is the one who specifically thought to drop by, which is like Brambleclaw going like, oh, your bio dad is here. You know, your dad lives here in the horse place, and I think it's worth it for you guys to see each other. I think he would love to hear about how you're a warrior now and all this stuff. And it's a really clever way of showing again the very sentimental father side of Brambleclaw. To really drive that home and stress how shaken he will be at the end of this book when shit goes down.
Yeah, he does kind of take it real rough.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately not going to get better for a while.
Yeah. He did make some points though.
Yeah.
We will get to that though. But yeah, the stray dogs. Do they really just let packs of 7 stray dogs fucking harass cats in the streets of England for multiple months or maybe years? Is this probably
is this an accurate representation of what happens? This felt bonkers to me. This felt like if this was happening in my neighborhood, animal control is getting called.
Let's see. Stray dogs. Decades ago, it was common to see stray dogs in suburban streets in the UK. Nowadays, there is legal responsibility.
For who? The dogs?
No, for the people.
For the people,
they have
yeah.
like actual folks like. But yeah, apparently, like, it used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And just, like, letting your dogs run around.
Yeah, it's just wild to me. If I lived in this neighborhood and they were not my dogs,
I would not be leaving my house, but I'm also scared of dogs.
Yeah.
So.
I would probably not be leaving my house, but I would be calling animal control and saying, hey, come get these fucking dogs. These... like, bro, I don't know. That was crazy. I liked the once again dropping clan cats describing cat beds as soft boulders and like pillows as soft boulders. Fun. It's so funny to me every time. And I wanted to highlight this Lion Blaze line. At one point, Lion Blaze is thinking about how Brambleclaw is not his bio dad. And he says, whatever skills we have, they didn't come from you, in his head. Like, he's thinking that about Brambleclaw. Whatever skills we have, they didn't come from you. Do you know what a skill is? Lion Blaze?
He has skill issues.
A skill is something you're taught. It's not something you're born with. That's the textbook definition of a skill is a thing that is taught to you. So your skills would come from Brambleclaw. You nitwit. That's all. I wanted to drag him for a moment.
He deserves to be dragged. As I have said multiple.
Yeah, he's
sick and tired of this man.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, just every interaction they have with Brambleclaw is so rough.
It's
because, like, they know he doesn't know. So why are you guys being dicks to him?
Why are they being so mean to him? It's miserable. It's really miserable.
Oh, man.
It kills me. I would love to talk a little bit about what I think is some really clever writing in this book. Now, I think overall there was a lot of bloat here. There was a lot of stuff that didn't need to be in here. But one of the things I was really impressed by is how they managed to obscure who Ashfur's killer is, despite one of the POV characters being the killer.
I think that was really, really nice. It was very fun. I think
that fucking rules.
And it, honestly, to me, that just shows, like, how much of it was Hollyleaf just being like, yeah, I had to do it, and I'm not going to think about it anymore. Like, it was literally just like, this is just a task that I need to complete, and then once I'm done with it, I'm not thinking about it anymore. And it just really gives some insight into her character and her state of mind through this whole book, which her state of mind is in a really rough spot the whole time.
Oh, yeah. It's rough.
She just has everything she believes in is being completely destroyed.
It's
and she does not
crumbling.
have anyone that she feels like she can turn to. Like, even her brothers
Mhm.
are kind of, they have different feelings than her about this, and she's kind of, without saying it out loud, she has realized that she is not one of the prophesied cat.
Mhm.
She never really outright says it, I don't think, but like she clearly is feeling like the outsider of basically her whole family at this point.
Yeah. And she has that added layer of, and to top it all off, I fucking killed for this secret and like I can't talk about it.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I've seen a lot of folks talk about, like fandom wise, is like, well, why did she kill Ashfur if she just told the secret anyway? And like, the point is, first of all, at the point that she killed Ashfur, like, she didn't know who her real mom was.
Mm-hmm.
She was just trying to protect Squirrel Flight and ThunderClan. And then she finds out who her real mom is, who her real father is, and like how this fucking secret has just been kept and nobody was like gonna take accountability for it. And she was like, no, you know what? I have spent my whole goddamn life believing that this is the most important thing because this is what you all taught me. And here we are just saying, fuck the warrior code like it's no big deal. She has just kind of, I think for her, in that moment for her, it is less about like her just kind of revealing something that was going to be revealed anyway, and more of her finally taking control of the situation when everything else in her life is so out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really kind of consider, is that this is her taking control of the only thing that she feels like she has any power over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think reading Hollyleaf's story kind of really reinforced that thought for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on the way that she's like constantly not sure if she wants to leave or go back, or if she even like should bother with anything. But she like knows that she did something that she had the power to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with all of that. And I can see where people online, like, I can understand people misinterpreting this or
Mm-hmm.
go, because it is something that you have to dig like one extra layer deeper into it and really think about it. And that's what I think makes Hollyleaf such a great character, is that she has extremely nuanced depth to her.
Yes.
That we don't see a lot in this series. Like, we see a lot of really strong character work in this series, but there is an additional layer of psychology to Hollyleaf that I think is more than we have gotten up to this point for most of our protagonists.
I agree. I think she is possibly one of the most complex characters in the series, and that kind of, while it's incredible that she exists as a character, and I love like her character arc and her growth and her fall and everything, I think her being stuck in this series where there is so much black and white morality
Mm-hmm.
does a disservice to the complexity of her character, in just the sense that, like, I mean, most people aren't going to be looking as deep as we are into the series.
Uh-huh.
Like, so, you know, she's going to seem inconsistent when it's more of a black and white kind of simpler narrative, and having this complex character just kind of is out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not to say that it is bad to have a simpler narrative. I am not saying like, it's just so basic. I'm saying, like, you know, it is what it's a kid's series.
Yeah.
Like, there are like heavy and complex topics, but it is presented in a more simple way.
Yeah, absolutely. Both things, the two things can coexist.
Yeah.
And that it is a children's series written for a younger audience, and so the strokes are broader and the depths are generally shallower. And Hollyleaf exists as sort of an exception to that rule, and is a character with a significant amount of depth that can be easily missed if you aren't really taking the time to chew on it.
Yeah. Anyway, I love Hollyleaf. But yeah, so I really, like, on this read through, I was just very, like, that whole scene where she reveals at the gathering was just like, my heart's being torn in 20 different ways.
Oh, it's so much.
It hurts.
The moment where she realizes, like, I don't feel any better.
Oh my god, I was dying. I was like, oh my god, honey, I know. Because, like, that's such...
It's so real, right?
It is. And it's such a complicated emotion to feel. Like, you feel like doing something. You're going into it, you're like, doing this is going to make me feel better. It's going to give me closure. And then you finish whatever it is, and you're like, that did not work. That does not feel better.
Yeah, the catharsis that I thought was going to happen, it didn't happen, and now I still feel bad, but, like, more people know about it.
Yeah. No, because I literally, oh my god, literally this week, somebody who had, like, you know, had treated me poorly in the past reached out to apologize. And the entire time I had been, like, it has been like a year and a half since they had talked to me.
Mm-hmm.
And they reached out to apologize. And the entire time in that year and a half, I was like, I just want them to take accountability and apologize for how they treated me and the rest of my friends. And they did that. And I was like, this doesn't feel better. Like, I still don't feel, it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. And that's okay. Sometimes the thing that you think is going to fix it just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, oh my god, when she was just like, I thought I fixed my problem and now it's not fixed and I feel even worse, I'm just like, God, my poor girl, I get you so much. You're my child.
It's oof. The moment when Cinderheart is talking to her, like, during the gathering, but then it's Cinderpelt, and Cinderpelt says, I don't remember exactly what she says, but it's something about, like, secrets like this just cause pain, you know, or things like this are only ever pain, something like that. But having this moment of, like, Cinderpelt coming out and being like, oh, Hollyleaf, I know, it's really rough, it's really hard. And Hollyleaf being like, oh my god, what have I done after that?
Yeah.
It's oof.
And, like, the fallout of it too, when she's looking around and everybody is just staring and talking to her, like, she's like, I don't know what she expected to be the result, but, like, the way that she's like, all right, I said something in front of a whole group of people and now everyone's staring at me and talking about me and giving me these dirty looks, and she's just like, I can't be here anymore.
And the way that it's like, I feel like, to me, the way I read it was like, in her mind, this was going to be something that was like, it was really an incredibly noble deed that she was doing to reveal this secret. And so, like, the reaction that she would get would be equivalent to that, would be like, wow, this is so brave, you know, what have you, that you came forward with this. And instead it is just people being like, what the fuck? Which is also a valid response.
Yeah.
But she didn't expect everybody to be feeling that, like, awkward and strange about it and, like, confused and kind of going through a lot of the emotions that she was also going through and was trying to banish through this, right?
Exactly.
There were my heart ached for Hollyleaf, Squirrelflight, and Leafpool during that whole scene.
And Brambleclaw. Oh my god, the way he, like, looks at Squirrelflight and he's like, wait, this is true? You never told me? You know I would have kept the secret for you.
The way he says, you know I would have kept the secret? Oh! Agonizing.
Broke my fucking heart, because we all know how much I loved them last arc.
And we know that he would. We know he would fucking die for Squirrelflight if she asked him to.
He's a good man, Savannah.
He's a good man.
A good man.
A wife guy.
Yeah, it's a really, really well done scene. But oh boy, it hurt.
It hurts. I want to also go back a little bit to some other just, like, agonizing moments. First of all, Hollyleaf going to confront Leafpool happens on the same, like, piece of land that we got that the short story in After Sunset where Leafpool talked to Brambleclaw, and Brambleclaw was like, I'm going to hurt my clan. I think I'm cursed or whatever. And I was so excited about that. It was that same. It was like another extremely intense conversation happening to Leafpool in this same spot. It really I was like, hell yeah, hell yeah. I loved that. And there was this moment where Hollyleaf talked about, I have the quote written, "When our father learns who we are, he'll be so proud of us. Maybe he doesn't even know about us. Maybe he's always wanted kits, and now he has 3 warriors to be his kin for the rest of his life."
That fucking, oh my god, that combined with, number one, the fact that Crowfeather so clearly is a bad father. And 2, that he straight up says, like, I do not claim you at the gathering. Makes that
yeah, the way he says
rough.
it to them and then doubles down at the gathering is brutal.
It's real rough.
It's real rough. And the fact that you have Brambleclaw, who is already that to them, but through all of this mess, this knot of, lies, Hollyleaf can't see that in this moment either. Ugh.
Oh, man, I just fucking...
I didn't actually write any notes about the moment that I also didn't put in the summary where Hollyleaf tells her mom to kill herself.
That is such that is the spiral moment of Hollyleaf. She's like, I don't know what to do anymore. I can't do anything. The way she just puts the fucking deathberries in front of Leafpool and is like, you're gonna eat these or I'm gonna make you eat them. And Leafpool's just like, hey, child, my one single daughter that I love, I think it's gonna hurt me more if I have to live with all of this than if I just kill myself. And Hollyleaf's like, damn, she's right, but I can't say that.
And she just walks away.
Leaves. She just leaves. She's just like, damn, she kind of ate with that one.
Absolutely.
Wild scene.
Crazy scene. I didn't write any notes because what do you even fucking say about it? That's a crazy scene.
It's so absolutely unhinged. And I love it.
It feels that
also,
moment.
What the fuck
feels very Shakespearean to me. Is that
oh my god, no, that is 100%. That is straight up out of a Shakespeare tragedy. Because 100%.
This also gives me a moment to call out Chekhov's deathberries because there's this whole bit earlier in this book that overall doesn't really matter that much. It's very sad that Honeyfern is bit by a snake and dies. But the thing that this facilitates is deathberries being brought into the camp, which usually Leafpool does not allow. And I was sitting there reading through this whole thing with Honeyfern. Why is this in this book? What is this? What is the purpose of this? And then we get to Firestar saying, I need you to bring deathberries into the camp because we're going to use them to try and poison the snake so nobody else gets hurt by the snake. And I was like, aha, the gun is on the mantle.
I see.
Oh, Chekhov's deathberries.
They're here.
You sly dog, Mr. Chekhov.
You thought I would notice your berries. But here they are. Honestly, though, Firestar was kind of real smart with that.
Oh yeah,
idea.
That was a really clever idea.
Yeah, wow, what a good idea. And also, shoot, fucking Leafpool, and I put some thorns in there so that when it eats it, it'll tear its guts up from the inside. I'm like, girl,
crazy.
Go off.
It was really good. Yeah, they really said we're gonna fuck up this snake. This snake doesn't know what it's done.
Yeah, damn, that's just crazy though.
It's crazy. It was good. Another wild bit of medicine stuff. We are really continuing to grow the breadth of the cat's medical knowledge, I feel like.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little deep with it.
The one note left that I have was just I know it's just an anachronism. I understand it, but I have to talk about it because it made me laugh so hard, and I had to put down the book for a second. But there was a moment when Leafpool says that Daisy is hysterical, and I was just thinking about the implications of a cat understanding the word hysterical for like a full minute.
Yeah.
How did she learn that?
It's a great question.
How would a cat know? Now I understand that it's like it's a cat term that has been translated into our human tongue for our understanding, but it just really got me.
No, that's so funny. No, and the one that got me actually was when Purdy tells Soul that if anyone gives him trouble to just give him a call. Like, I know he means call across the camp, but it was just like, I'm imagining Soul picking up his cell phone and dialing Purdy's number and being like, bro, they're being mean to me.
Grandpa, Peepaw.
Peepaw, they're being mean.
They're being mean, Peepaw. Oh, man. Hollyleaf story?
Let's fucking go into it.
Let's go.
This story, I could not put it down, first of all. I read it straight through, one sitting, no breaks.
I read it really fast, too. I read the first 8 chapters in one sitting, and then then it was late, and so I read the last 2 chapters the next morning.
What a fucking devastating story.
Truly.
Like, the way Hollyleaf is talking to herself, the way she has torn her entire body apart trying to get out of the rubble is like what we start with, and she starts with all of these flashbacks.
Oh, the flashbacks! Of
all of the reasons that she is here, like the flashbacks of Ashfur confronting Squirrel Flight, of her, telling the truth, all of it.
And we get a flashback of her killing Ashfur, which was not something that we had previously, and that rules.
Yeah, every bit of it was just... And I really want to talk about the implications of Fallen Leaves.
Yes, me too.
Because Fallen Leaves is very interesting as a concept to me. Mm-hmm. Because he seems to sort of exist as both a physical creature and also a ghost.
Because he has mass, he is able to do things such as make a nest and
catch prey,
catch fish, and
bring her medicine.
But he's cold, like Edward Cullen.
He's cold and he smells like. How long have you been a 2B? A while.
How long have you been a soft paw?
Soft paw, that's right. That's what they call them.
A while.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting because, and I think part of it, I think what it is Fallen Leaves exists in a similar space and explanation. I think Fallen Leaves exists in a similar space in terms of how things work as Jay's Wing. Mm-hmm. I think it is better if there's no explanation for why he is the way he is. Mm-hmm. I just think it is so fun to have a character who is he is not only stuck in time, but he is stuck in between. He is forever stuck in this transitory period.
Right.
He can never leave the tunnels and he can never move on to the next life. Mm-hmm. But he also isn't just, he isn't always going to be a soft paw. Like we said, he has led so many cats through the tunnels at this point, he technically completed his mission.
Right.
And he also can sort of still interact with the world.
Yeah.
So he is just kind of this in-between sort of ghost being. I don't know what the proper word for him is, but he's so fascinating to me as a concept for a character to exist.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to eat, but he does have a physical presence, but he can sort of vanish, and he doesn't have a scent. But we go through this whole thing, and Hollyleaf never is never directly told or figures out that he is, a ghost or dead.
Yeah.
Because
there's no explicit statement of it from her.
Right. Or from him. He does not. He says that it has been longer than, he can count, but that is vague enough that Hollyleaf can take that as, within a lifespan when it is in fact been many, many lives.
Yes. He's just so interesting. interesting, and I love him so much.
I love him. He functions so differently from what we have seen with StarClan cats, too, which, like, obviously he is different from StarClan cats. He functions, I suppose, a little bit closer to how Rock does, but it's still not the same as Rock either.
Well, what about Midnight?
It is a little bit like Midnight in some ways.
He is very much like Midnight, I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with him. I'm thinking about him so much. I love him so much.
Yeah.
I'm so sad. I want him to be able to leave those tunnels so bad.
I do too.
I want him to be able to move on. My guy, I want you to be able to move on.
I want you to live, but like, I want you to move on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like he is holding himself back, I don't think, because he doesn't seem to like necessarily feel like it.
I think
it's difficult.
I think it's a little bit of both.
It is a little bit of both, yeah, because he definitely is like I said, he doesn't have like the classic unfinished business at this point. Right. He has made it through the tunnels so many times.
But at one point he does say, if I leave, how will they come back for me?
Yes. So I think it is less of a like business thing and more of like, this is the only place he thinks that his family is going to be able to find him.
Right. This is the only to stay here.
He's not staying here because he feels like it's his duty or punishment. He is staying here because he thinks it is the only way for him to reunite with his family.
Exactly.
It's a more bittersweet thing, I think, than just being like, oh, I deserve to be here forever.
Right, exactly. It is more, it is like a child who has been told, if you get lost, stay still. He is following.
He's waiting.
He is waiting. Yes, he is waiting. Yeah. He is not trapped. Though there is the line from Hollyleaf, Fallen Leaves seemed to view the tunnels as his home and his prison equally. Let's go. Fucking good line.
It's
just crazy good line.
Yeah, I thought I marked some other lines, but the
way Fallen Leaves was exactly what Hollyleaf needed too.
Yeah, and he like let her realize things at her own pace, and the way that she was able to heal with him, because he was just like, okay, we're going to follow the structure that you're familiar with. Also, I'm not going to pressure you to talk about anything that you don't want to talk about. And we're just going to kind of heal together. Like, they just have fun sometimes. They're racing through the tunnels and they're teasing each other. And she's like, the things that she has done and had to deal with, she is able to like put aside for a moment, and just like, she's able to just kind of heal a little bit just by like being with someone who doesn't know like her whole fucking deal.
Yeah.
Someone who just kind of sees somebody who needs help and is willing to just kind of just be there for her.
And who also like basically completely accepts everything that she admits to him at any time.
He's not gonna judge her or anything. He's just gonna listen. And he is just so fucking sweet. He loves her so much. I'm 100% on the Fallen Leaves ex Hollyleaf train.
Yeah.
They are in love and they are so cute. Oh my god, you know what part fucking destroyed me?
Which part?
Hollyleaf taking care of the fox.
Dude.
The way she, I feel like that is the critical thing, because, all right, I'm about to cook.
All right, go for it.
So Hollyleaf takes care of the fox. She, guides the fox back in and is like, okay, come on, like, I'm gonna help you out. And she like helps it out. And it seems to like, it sees her. It's like, oh my gosh, yes, I love you. Like, thank you for letting me out. And she returns it to the fox's original child, or actual mother. She took care of it in a very motherly fashion.
She did.
And then she comes to see the fox again when the fox is older, and the fox doesn't recognize her, and the fox tries to attack her. And I feel like once again, because Hollyleaf is such a complex character, we have to read between the lines with her a little bit. That, I feel like, is her turning point, because she is like, oh, this is how I made both of my moms feel.
Yeah. I hadn't even connected those two dots. That's really a really good point.
So, yeah, she realizes, like, the hurt that she has done, and she kind of takes a while to come to terms with that. But, like, I feel like that is the moment where she's like, oh, I think I fucked up.
And it is after that point that she has the conversation with Fallen Leaves where she straight up says, I have two mothers, right?
Exactly. I believe so, yeah.
I cannot stop thinking about Hollyleaf's, the arc of Hollyleaf going from my mother should die to I have two moms. Kills me.
Oh my god.
Kills me. Character growth. And Fallen Leaves being there to also give her the perspective of, like, it sounds like they were really doing the best that they could, just like any of us are, which I think was really an important thing for her to hear.
Yeah. Also, you are correct. It is literally right after she comes back, after the fox encounter, that she talks to Fallen Leaves about having two moms. Fucking devastating.
Absolutely despondent.
I am broken. I love Hollyleaf so much. I'm literally gonna cry about this cat.
Oh, she's good.
She's so important to me. And just the way she engages with Fallen Leaves on the difficult topics, where she's kind of like, she kind of tests the waters with him a little bit. She's like, well, tell me about your family.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna get something off my chest. And she just kind of like starts going into it. I just think that they have a really unique dynamic, and I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I love them. Good novella.
Good novella. Man, fucking banger. That's on my list now. Like, you know, I've got a list of all of the, like, these are the Warrior Cats books you should read. And that is going on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I also do think
it's a really, really emotional story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it does a lot with the characters' emotions, and it's really, really well done.
And it really feels like, with some of the novellas we've read, they've felt very much like, well, we're making a novella, but this felt more like Vicky Holmes herself had a story with Hollyleaf that she wanted to tell, versus it being like, well, we're going to make, you know, this novella about this thing because, like, fans voted on it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels very much like, it feels very purposeful, which I really enjoyed.
Last thing I have is just that we see a lot of snippets of stuff that's coming up in the coming arc.
I was like, oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening in Omen of the Stars? Because that's the one I never finished.
That's right, you don't know what's going on.
I was like, what the fuck is happening?
So I loved getting all of those little snippets and being able to, in my head, connect it to things that I remember from Moment of the Stars. And I was also thinking, like, oh, this is like a fun. At first I was a little worried. I was like, oh, maybe we should have read this later, but I think that it slots in here really well. And I think it's fun to have.
I think it's vague enough that maybe, like, most things are going to be. I feel like it doesn't really spoil much.
Right,
but
because it shows you the aftermath of a lot of things. Like, it shows you stuff without showing you the event itself. It shows you, like, oh, this must have. And Hollyleaf is like, whoa, what the heck went on? What the heck happened?
Hey, whoa, what happened here?
And so I'm really just capping this off by saying I'm so excited to get into Omen of the Stars.
Yeah, this actually did get me kind of hype.
I'm excited. I really, really like Dovewing and Ivypool, and I'm excited that we're getting into this coming arc.
Hell yeah. I think that's about all I have. Read Hollyleaf's story.
Read Hollyleaf's story.
Fucking do it. It's a good one.
Yeah. All right, I'll walk us over to the Erin Corner. It should be a relatively quick one today, I would say. A little interesting tidbit I found was that Sunrise, the title, was originally Cruel Season.
Hell yeah.
I can see why they changed it, but it does rip.
I'm never gonna be over the fact that they changed it to Sunrise. I think Cruel Season is such a fucking banger title.
It's really good. And man, boy, that season sure was cruel.
It sure fucking was, wasn't it? Goddamn.
An interesting quote from Vicky about Hollyleaf. When asked what the other clans thought of Hollyleaf's presumed death at the end of Sunrise, Vicky stated that, I suspect there was a fair amount of relief, if not exactly happiness. She caused a whole lot of trouble with her announcement. I'm not sure the other clans would care a great deal, because they weren't directly affected, except poor old Crowfeather and his new family, who are probably praying for a meteor to land on ThunderClan.
Jesus Christ.
I just think that's...
Oh, Lord.
I think that's an interesting... Yeah. I mean, I get... Imagine being just like some fucking Joe Schmo paw over in RiverClan, and you were at your like second gathering, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Crowfeather wanting a meteor to land on Thunderglade is really funny.
That's so good.
Oh, he's not a good dad, but he is going through it.
Yeah.
I really liked this. I liked this little tidbit that Vicky said. She didn't say that it was... She basically posited it like a headcanon, but I like it a lot, which is that Hollyleaf's suffix, leaf, was a reference to leaf pool and was suggested by Squirrel Flight. I think that's really sweet.
Hell yeah.
And I also found out that Hollyleaf is one of Kate Carey's least favorite cats. I feel like maybe I've said that before, but I can't remember. But I'm bringing it up again because I think that's rude. I like Hollyleaf a lot. And we know that Jill is...
What the fuck?
Come on. What do you mean, Kate Carey? Come on.
Kate, come on now.
Why are you coming for a Hollyleaf like this? What's wrong with Hollyleaf? You telling me what's that meme of the buff guy that's like boxing and he's like, you telling me you don't like Hollyleaf?
Real.
That was what I found for the Erin Corner today. You wanna take us to sharing tongues?
Oh, hell yeah. We got a lot to talk about today.
Woo!
Let's start with AO3. We've got 15 works for Sunrise. And I just wanted to highlight some real gems. One of the fics, the title is There's a Sister-Shaped Hole Where My Heart Used to Be.
Ugh.
And it is apparently a story about, I think it's supposed to be kind of between Power of Three and Omen of the Stars. And it is about Jay Feather and Lion Blaze kind of trying to figure out how to, not only which of White Wing's kits is the third cat of the prophecy, but also like dealing with the fact that like the third cat is not their sister.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of are putting the way they're kind of treating the third cat to kind of like replace her, but also not wanting to replace her kind of stuff. It just looked like a very painful and good story.
That does.
I
was just going to say real quick, that does remind me that I wanted to shout out the reveal here that Hollyleaf is not one of the three and that there is another third cat is kind of been like building up to, but is confirmed in this book. I think that is such a fun pivot.
I do too.
I think that's like really clever.
It breaks my heart that she's not one of the three,
absolutely.
But I think that just makes her even more like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The next is a summary from another fic, which is if Hollyleaf's soul is all she has to give to pull a tick from Thunderclay's pelt, then her soul she will give.
Whew.
Yeah, goddamn. Because that really was like, yeah, this is how she feels about Ashfur. Is like he was just, and there's even a mention in one of the two books, I don't remember which one, where she literally talks about how like she just viewed him as a piece of prey.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a hunt for prey to help make sure the clan was gonna thrive.
Mm-hmm. Rough.
Yeah, there were 2 Honeyfern Lives AUs. One of them was involved her stopping Hollyleaf from running off. Another one, fucking sleeper ship over here. Heathertail and Hollyleaf of Heathertail coming back into the tunnels and seeing Hollyleaf in there.
That's fun. That's a fun thought.
Yeah. There's the one that I just linked here is a canon divergence. Oh, unfortunately, it has not been updated in 2 years. Where it is a canon divergence with how Crowfeather reacts to the reveal that those are his kits. Yeah. 3 fics for Hollyleaf's story. One of them seems to be like an AU, but also sort of the novella from Fallen Leaves perspective.
Aww.
Which just seems like it would break my heart.
Mm-hmm.
There are 47 fics for Hollyleaf and Fallen Leaves. One of them is about, one of them was titled Warriors Lemons, and I was just like, damn, what a throwback.
Damn.
Remember the citrus scale, guys? What a time. What a time we used to live in. And then the summary on this one, oh my god, yes, I agree to your terms and conditions. Fucking AO3.
No, AO3, I don't agree to your terms.
This one is a AU where Hollyleaf is kind of like, she goes a little further off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
Hollyleaf, stricken with grief, fury, and anguish, sees no other solution but to seek revenge on the one who started it all, Leafpool. But killing her sets a whole new story in motion, one in which Hollyleaf does not run away, but chooses to challenge her destiny head-on, all while leaving a trail of blood in her wake. She was meant to be the third cat in the prophecy, even if StarClan thinks otherwise.
Damn.
And I just think that last line goes hard.
That does go hard.
77, specifically tagged for just the power of 3 as an arc. 668 fics for Hollyleaf.
Let's go.
Absolute queen shit. And just for you, I pulled, there are 5 for Longtail and Mousefer.
Oh, my babies. My rare pair.
One thing I forgot to mention was, since I never got past like the first 2 or 3 books of Omen of the Stars, I didn't know until we started this podcast that Hollyleaf had survived going into the tunnels. So I spent a long time thinking Hollyleaf was just straight up dead. And then when we started, doing stuff for the podcast, I was like, oh wait, maybe she's actually, and then I'm like, oh shit, she's still alive? Holy shit. So like, genuinely, because I stopped reading and following with like what was coming out and whatnot very shortly after Power of 3 ended, I did think Hollyleaf was dead for like a long ass time.
Wow. Now you know.
So that's a fun fact. We've just got some beautiful fan art here on Tumblr. Lots of really cool Hollyleafs, especially ones like of her standing over Ashfur's dead body.
Fuck yeah.
A lot of hypothetical Fallen Leaves Hollyleaf kits, which are also cute, and a lot of really cute art for the two of them. There's this really lovely one where Hollyleaf is like reaching up into like a shaft of moonlight, and Fallen Leaves is kind of like semi-transparent in the moonlight, but in the darkness he's like fully opaque. Oh, it's so beautiful. Just a bunch of like nice cute little images of them. I just think they're cute.
I love them so much.
I didn't even bother searching Sunrise because we all know what I'm gonna get on Tumblr if I just search the word Sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody posted, I don't care what anyone says, this is Heathertail in my heart, and it's just a picture of Delcatty. And you know what? I think they're right.
I also think they're right.
Damn, Pokemon teams for Warrior Cats would go hard.
Mm-hmm.
Power of 3 is also the name of a Diane Wynne Jones book and a Doctor Who episode, so searching Power of 3 gets you both of those things, also some warriors, and a lot of folks pulling the 3 of Swords.
Oh, yeah.
In their tarot. Somebody posted AU where Hollyleaf gets stuck in the back rooms instead of the tunnels.
Killed me.
There's a moment where the first time Hollyleaf asks Fallen Leaves to like stay in her nest with her, and he like curls up next to her, and she's like, it's just like sharing a nest with Cinderheart. Like, okay, girl. Bisexual moment. Hollyleaf and Fallen Leaves is peak girl boss male wife couple ship. We got some good videos. We'll put the ones from last week that we didn't like specifically discuss in our list because I had not watched them because my ass forgot that Hollyleaf was the one who killed.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Ashfur.
When did you remember?
Like as soon as I started reading the book.
I forgot to ask you.
No, it was very much like the entire time I was like, I think it's Hollyleaf who did it. Mm-hmm. But like I didn't realize until like I actually sat down and started reading. I'm like, no, it was Hollyleaf, duh.
I think that it is fun because that they in the previous book they do kind of have this moment where they imply it could be Squirrel Flight, which I think is a fun misdirect.
And there is a bit of misdirect in this book where there are times that it led me to that like could lead someone to believe like, was it fucking Jay Feather? Because there's some moments that he like says some sus shit.
The read I got from it is that Jay Feather knew the whole time and just never said I know. Like he basically reads minds. He can like see into, Hollyleaf's thoughts and stuff. So that was the read that I came away with. But you're right, it does feel a little bit like he could have done it at some points, especially the moments where he's like, obviously it wasn't Soul. It's like, okay, well, if obviously it wasn't Soul, then you know
right,
something.
Then you fucking know. Tell us what you fucking know, bitch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, Leafpool would never put Jay Feather's fur in the fucking
true
little cleft in the rock there, because he would very easily find that.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few, Hollyleaf videos out there. There's one set to Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift, and I have to say, Hollyleaf would 100% blast the Reputation album.
Yeah, it's
very her.
She would. You're right.
Then there's this, we talked about this earlier, there's this beautiful Hollyleaf image that we found on Blue Sky of her standing on a branch over the river.
Yeah, and there's bones in the river.
Yeah, there's a cat skeleton in the river. It's just gorgeous.
I'm realizing just now, after looking at it a couple times, that's probably Ashfur's skeleton.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Fucking
it's
dope,
so cool.
dude.
And now I would just like to just give you a rundown of the wild shit that I thought of back in, when did we say these books came out? 2008?
I can't ever hold a date in my head. Sunrise came out in...
Long Shadows came out in 2008. All right, so this is the shit I was on in 2008.
All right.
I'm not going to go too deep into everything because I will admit I just kind of skimmed because I was kind of, as much as I say cringe is dead, it is difficult reading some poorly written fanfic from your own brain.
Oh, it is.
Over a decade ago.
It is.
Over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly 20 years ago. Yikes.
Thank you though for coming and offering these tidbits to us. I'm so excited.
My soul,
I'm so excited.
If you will. I do want to, this is my speculative end to the Power of Three that I wrote in between Long Shadows and Sunrise's release. At this point, we knew that the original title was going to be Cruel Season, and then we found out that they changed it. So I did call my speculative end Cruel Season because I thought it was a banger title.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first thing that happens is SkyClan coming to join the clans by the lake.
Will happen in the future.
Literally is going to happen in the future. I was just a little early.
You were just a little tad, just a bit early. You got
just
there.
A smidge early.
The Erin stole from you.
They sure did. I cured Jay Feather's blindness, which, like, looking back is very cringe and ableist of me, but I was...
That's teens.
Yeah, I was like a tween at this point. Yeah. I was like 13. I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
My dislike of the fact that Firestar and Leopardstar are still the leaders was very apparent because I killed both of them off in the same battle. Because I was like, I'm sick and tired of them being around. I need Misty Star pronto. I had Brackenfur as Bramblestar's deputy.
Oh,
I just like that.
It.
I did give Hollyleaf a power because at this point, the reveal of her not being one of the three was never a thing. Hers was like being able to tell when cats are telling the truth.
Oh,
it was kind of stupid because like that's kind of what Jay Feather does already.
Yeah, Jay Feather can kind of do that. That's a very Kurapika power for my Hunter x Hunter heads out there.
But I feel like with her being so loyal to the code, it makes sense as a power for her to have.
Yeah.
But,
it's not that far from I want to understand everything, which is what she said she wanted her power to be.
Exactly. Ravenpaw shows up with several kits and brings them to SkyClan.
This is also approximately something that happens, right? Yeah.
Yes, this is also going to happen. Although in mine, they are Princess's kits that he shows up with.
That's fun.
Again, at this point, I was like, it's fucking Leafpool. She's their mother. Mm-hmm. Like, that was...
It was a correct prediction, though.
It was a correct prediction. Soul returns.
That is also going to happen.
Yep. and it did happen in this book.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking gave Brightheart an apprentice because Firestar wasn't going to.
He does. I believe she gets one soon, but I can't remember who it is.
I looked it up. She does not get an apprentice.
She does get an apprentice. I know that she has an apprentice. Hold on.
I looked it up, though. I don't think she does.
I could have sworn she gets it. But it doesn't have it here. You're right.
No, Jay Feather was her only listed apprentice.
Come on.
Yeah, so Mothwing killed herself. I don't know why.
That's wild.
I think I wanted to go for some, like, huge, like, guilt thing about not, like, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was 13.
That feels like that's
a 13-year-old plot point.
That's
yeah,
a 13-year-old plot point, for sure.
Or was I 14? I don't fucking know. Math is hard.
I could not do math for you right now in this moment.
I did give Ravenpaw a warrior name, which I wish I had not done that. But I did name him Ravenflight.
That's a nice name, though.
Fucking random ass Black Claw power play.
Who the
fuck is Black Claw? He's a
River Clan cat, but he's not alive at this point, I don't think.
No, he's alive.
Oh, shit.
I think.
He's dead now. I mean, he's dead currently.
Oh, yeah, no, he's dead now. But, like, I'm pretty sure he was alive in the Power of Three.
He's Misty Star's mate?
What?
So he's Reed Whisker's dad.
He does die in the next arc. But, like, he's, like, a nobody.
Yeah, I didn't even fucking remember him.
And so he randomly has some fucking power play and is trying to take over the clans.
Damn.
Heathertail and Lionblaze have a litter. Crowfeather becomes Wind Clan's deputy.
This is also something that will happen eventually.
Yeah. This is gonna be kind of, I think, major spoilers. For my next fucking sniped prediction. So I don't remember which arc this happens in. I just know it happens at some point soon. The exact methodology of how it happens is almost assuredly different in the actual books. But I do have the Dark Forest cats manifesting physically to attack the clans, which that is also going to happen, I do believe.
Maybe sooner than you think.
So, I would just like to say, fucking sniped on that one.
Fucking got him.
Soul, I had him reveal that he was, related to Scourge.
Which would also mean he was related to Firestar.
Yes, but importantly, oh no, wait, I was misremembering things. But yeah, so I had him as, he was like, his family was from Blood Clan, etc., etc. Mouse Whisker and Hollyleaf became mates just out of fucking nowhere. What the hell was I on?
That is a wild pull.
It literally had no build up either. It was so fucking stupid.
Oh, it was a leaf pull and Crowfeather move.
It literally. And then I don't think I actually ever revealed who killed Ashfur, but most of my implications were that it was Jay Feather.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was how I ended Power of Three.
Incredible.
With some fucking wild predictions that I just truly cannot believe actually happened.
Yeah.
Some of these.
You hit SkyClan comes to join the clans by the lake so much earlier than the Erins did. It's really incredible.
It's because
how you called that.
I love SkyClan.
Well, because SkyClan owns is the thing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely crazy.
Thank you so much for bringing us down memory lane with you. That was so fun. I love hearing about this.
I'm so glad you enjoyed. And also, you know what? One day, I think I would like to revisit and rewrite it and, improve the things that were kind of absolutely unhinged and stupid. But, until such time, it shall still live where it lives, and I just think it's interesting how many things turn out to actually happen. I just think it was a fun little dip back.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I deleted a bunch of my old stuff, and a lot of folks I think deleted a bunch of their old stuff because I went back on my fanfiction.net account and I couldn't find a lot of the fics that I loved back then. So
that's
it's kind of a shame. Mm-hmm. So many folks have kind of deleted their stuff, but yeah, just a nice little thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Fun time, good time.
Do we want to talk about our Warrior Cats of the Week?
I would love to. I have a feeling we're gonna have the same one this time.
I got a feeling.
Because I did go with Hollyleaf.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be explained.
I almost went with Fallen Leaves instead, but Hollyleaf plays
Same.
such a pivotal role. Like, this is the Hollyleaf hour. You know, this is the fucking Hollyleaf hour.
Well, 2 hours.
2 hours. You get it. We love her. She is extremely complex, really like a standout part of this arc and the series as a whole. And I want her and Fallen Leaves to be happy so badly.
Yeah, I just love them.
I love them.
I'm holding them in my hands. I cannot protect them.
I'm squeezing them, my babies.
Good fucking book, Hollyleaf story.
Yeah.
Sunrise was okay.
Sunrise was fun.
Fucking man, I'm gonna be rereading that one. I can already tell.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Let's go. Outro. I have to stop staring into the middle distance and thinking about cats and bring us into the end of the podcast. If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Twitter and Blue Sky at Paws and Claws, and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Never a better time to get on Blue Sky, guys. Get on that.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, I made a post today. I'm gonna do my best to be better about posting on Blue Sky, and the Tumblr as well, especially after the recent news of what's going on with the website formerly known as Twitter. Blue Sky is pretty cool, actually. It's been really nice. Tagging actually works. Shadow banning isn't a thing. Like, putting links in your post doesn't, like, nuke your number of views. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, turns out
Sometimes social media can actually be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll definitely be trying to post more there, retweet a lot more things, and just generally try and be more active on socials. And, you know, if you want to follow us there, we would love to have you, and I will do my best to be chatty. Definitely hit that up.
Cool. On top of that, if you are 18 years and older, you can come join us in our Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. And we are brought to you by the TWG Podcast Network, which you can find at theworstgarbage.online. You can find me on Twitter, kind of, Tumblr, or Blue Sky at HumbleGoat. And you can see the art I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can still find me on Twitter at plot_twists, on Blue Sky more often now at plot-twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss Omen of the Stars Book 1, The Fourth Apprentice, and the novella Misty Stars Omen. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.